is part 2 of Help Me, I'm Getting Evicted. So if someone decides to send me $294, the whole amount, I will pay you back $300. I will pay you back $300 if you decide to help me today, so I won't be evicted. I get paid on the 20th of January. You can blow my motherfucking DMs up. I'll give you my number so you can blow my number up so you can make sure that you get your money back. But I promise you, you will get your money back because I'm not one of them. But I need this. Like, I genuinely need this. So if y'all can help, please help.
Oh my goodness. She said if somebody pays me $294 right now, that whenever it is that I pay you back, you got a smooth $6 waiting on you. She's gonna give you $300 for you paying her $294. As well as she's basically saying you can blow me up if I don't pay you in time as agreed on. Probably the same way that the landlord was blowing her up and she didn't pay, so now she's getting evicted. Listen, fall for this scam if you want. These scams are getting diabolical. You know what's gonna happen? She's gonna have 10 people send her 296, and I promise you, not one of y'all is getting y'all 300 back. So if you see this, right? Because she don't even look like she's trying. What do I mean? In the bed with that thing on her head. It's trademarked now. So don't try to steal it because I'm gonna put it on t-shirts. Listen, if this presentation that she brought to you all seems like it garners trust, well, I should ask, does this presentation garner trust in your opinion? As well as just the optics. And then this is part 2. So there's a whole part 1 we didn't even get to see of her trying to scrunch up some money. Listen, if you're getting evicted, in most cases, that means that you've gone delinquent for multiple months. And in some states, it can even be years. So to have the gall to come online and you basically haven't paid somebody else, and that's why you're getting evicted, but then to try to have people donate or not even donate because you're saying you're going to pay them back, and we're supposed to trust that along with the presentation that you presented to us. I think that's wild, and I think that's just delusional.
The good thing about having Section 8 is it does go with your income. So if your income is up here, you pay some rent, you just don't pay the market rent. If your income is down here, then you pay a smaller amount of rent. But still, it's the income that matters. So if you qualify for the lowest income, that means your income is that low that you don't have to pay regular rent. You'll qualify as low income. So what that means is, obviously, if your rent is that low that you don't have to pay rent, that means you don't have enough money to pay your bills either. Your other bills that you might have, that's the hard part about being low income. You don't have enough income to actually live. But
No, the hard part is when you're trying to see, you've already come into this basically knowing that, oh no, I have to have Section 8. It's been passed down in my family, and it's free, so I want it. So when you're trying to maneuver within those parameters, yes, it becomes very complex and it becomes very hard to try to sustain that, as well as to try to have any semblance of a normal life when you have all these restrictions around you. But there is another side. The other side is actually exponential, and it's infinite, and it's limitless. And what the other side is when you decide that you're going to get your life together, you're going to bet on yourself, and you're going to try to be abundant, and you're going to try to thrive in the U.S. like we see immigrants do all the time. And you're going to take your responsibility into your own hands, as well as while you're trying to get yourself together and grow, you're going to also not put any self-inflicted wounds on yourself in the meantime that you're bonded to for a lifetime, i.e., have any other kids. That's what you see when you focus on that side. Then what you uncover is that you have unlimited options, unlimited possibilities. But when you tie yourself to the government assistance programs, it absolutely confines you into a box, and you have to try to maneuver around in that little box. And it's going to be very complicated. It's going to be very difficult, as it should be.
If you do, your income is up here and you're paying rent, your income is still not above the low income mark, which disqualifies you from being low income or Section 8. So it's up here, but it's not above. And when it's up here, that means, okay, you have enough now that you can pay your rent. You might not be able to pay your other bills, but you at least can pay rent. That's what that is. And that's where a lot of people are. They have enough money just to pay their living expenses, to pay their rent, maybe their lights, maybe a little phone bill, maybe a little car note. I don't know. But after that, that's it. That's it. So I really wish people would stop saying, like, oh, you on Section 8, it must be nice to live free. It's not free. My little check, once the bills is paid, ain't nothing left. It ain't much left. So
Yeah, but what we don't talk about is how most likely, whether subconsciously or whether consciously, your little check, you're intentionally trying to stay within the margins of that little check. And you're not trying to get a bigger check because you don't want to lose your benefits because like you mentioned, once you have a certain income, then you no longer qualify for Section 8. So what people try to do, either consciously or subconsciously, is they try to stay within those parameters so that they don't lose their benefits. And it doesn't help by the fact that there's a waiting list for these benefits. So there's a certain degree of exclusivity when it comes to the benefits. And once you get it, because you probably waited so long to get it, now you're really incentivized not to give it up.
And this is how they left my property. They ripped off my cabinets, they took out the sink, they demoed everything, put everything in the living room, and look, I finally found where my kitchen sink's at. They left all the junky furniture here. Now I have to get rid of this. They took a sledgehammer, and look what they did to my bathroom. But then, so I can have some deep thoughts. And in case you're wondering what the second bathroom looked like, yeah. They did leave this room a little bit better condition. They left some furniture here, but the floorboards are messed up. I guess I need a new AC. Do you think I should take that security deposit?
Do we think he should take the security deposit? No. I think you need to become Batman and tie their feet and have them hanging from a fucking skyscraper somewhere, and then you come face to face with them and start asking them questions. But yeah, of course, you need to get a lot more than that. You need to sue them, if you ask me, because that was absolutely malicious and it was egregious, and that's one of the worst damage. You know what I'm saying? Units that I've seen. It's clearly malicious. They took the cabinets out. They literally sledgehammered and demoed his wall. What reason could you have to do that? Aside from you're just upset that he probably evicted you after you were delinquent over a certain amount of time. And, I mean, it's very egregious, but I like his optimism. He's taking it in stride. I think when somebody's optimistic about you effing up their house, that lets you know how bad of a tenant you are, because he was just glad you're gone. He's just happy you're not there anymore. He'll handle all of that extra stuff. Just you being out of his house has him jolly. So that just really gives you insight into what he was probably dealing with for so long.
You see that right there? Notice to quote Andrew DeBose, 22 years old, my first ever eviction. And it's like, in this moment, I could choose to, let fear overcome me and scare me and make me feel like I need to crawl into a ball and feel helpless, or I could go to God in prayer and realize that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Like everything happens for a reason. Like lost my job this week, about to lose my home. I already saw this for coming, but I'm focused. I'm ready. I'm ready to, bet on myself, go all in, because it's like you never know when is your time. The more you focus on the negativity and you focus on the things that you can't control, the worse things just get for you, because you start to spiral and you start to lose your sense of ground, and you start to realize that, okay, maybe I'm not as prepared as I need it to be or as I want it to be, but there's nothing that you can do about that. Only thing you can do is focus on the now and focus on where you're moving and go forward, and realize that everything that you do from this moment on is a testament of where you're going to end up in the future. And that's where
Right.
I'm at. I know my future is bright. Today, we face an eviction. Tomorrow, I'm making my first 100K. Gotta figure it out. The truth.
I can't tell whether or not I agree with him or not, because he was literally flip flopping. On one end, he would say it's up to God, and I'm gonna leave it in His hands, basically, and there's nothing I can do about it. I have no control over it, and that's where I disagree. But then on the other hand, he would then switch and then say, he's got to get his stuff together. He's got to get on it. Ultimately, I'm just gonna address the negative, because that's more where we can take more value from and extract more value. So I would say yes, this is absolutely in your control. Faith without works is dead. So whatever you believe, that's fine. But you can't just withdraw yourself and then say, Lord, take the wheel. I trust you. No. You still the best way you can show your faith is by continuing to move. Because if you're moving, then that means that you actually believe that something's gonna happen. When I was creating this channel and I made my first video and there was no one there to watch it, I had faith that it was gonna grow, but it wasn't just gonna grow if I just did that video and then stopped there, right? That's just not possible. So I had faith, and that's actually why I took action. That's actually why I kept moving. And that's actually why I continue to keep moving today. So ultimately, we're just gonna leave it there. You have to do the work, you have to produce the movement, and that's the most purest way of showing that you have faith. Because you wouldn't do something if you didn't have faith in it, right? You wouldn't just go on a suicide mission. If you have faith that you're going to come out on the other side, then naturally you'll take that action, because you know what's coming on the other side. So that's the only thing I'll say, and I say that from a good place, because if he seems like he's trying to figure it out, and I've been there before as a young dude, just trying to understand what life is about, and that's why I just want to point him in the right direction, point you on the right track. No, you have to put in the work. You have to keep going. You can use this, to be able to ascend, but nothing's going to happen if nothing happens. And it's just that simple. So let's leave it there. Y'all, if y'all could like the video, it helps me more than you know. So please leave a like. And then also, YouTube has a new feature called hyping. And when you hype the video, basically that is a new feature for smaller content creators like myself. And the more you hype, the more YouTube pushes us, just the same way it pushes the larger content creators. So if you could hype the video as well, I'd appreciate it. And Patreon's linked below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.